It's been a challenging time, but when you're surrounded by good people, and Charlie is awesome. He's got a real vision for what he wants in the program, and we've all bought into him and what we're trying to get accomplished. So that gets you through it. I mean, it's we got great kids. You just keep working. That's all you can do. You can't cry about what you don't have. You got to keep working. It's that simple.
Maybe talk a little about what you do have this week. Ty coming back after a full game and another full week of practice.
Right.
Here.
Yeah, Ty played. I thought he had a really good game. I was really pleased with a lot of things that you need to see a young quarterback do in the management aspect of it. He had a few speed bumps in there, which you would expect, but he had a lot less than what I thought he would have had. I thought he did a great week. Had a great week of preparation. I liked his focus and his attention to detail. When I was talking to him during the game, he was. I always quiz him on what he was seeing, what he saw in coverages, and what the defense was before I would tell him, and he was right on. He didn't miss any. So he did it. That just shows his preparation. So I was really pleased. Pleased with the way he played.
Is he ready for an expanded playbook now, Coach?
Well, he's, we always keep growing him. I mean, he is. We just got to get the other people around him. We're working, still working with a young offensive line and still putting those guys together. But Ty, we'll keep pushing Ty, and we'll keep pushing, the perimeter pieces that we have.
Sure. Speaking of offensive line, how close are guys like a Darius James or Elijah Rodriguez? How close are those guys to being able to maybe
getting on the field? We've started rolling them in practice more, just simply because we've been when we play up speed, you need to be able to alternate some guys. They've gotten some more time in practice. Like everything, they've got to earn it. But both of those guys are two guys that have. They've been with us, so they're a lot further along than the other guys. So they're the guys that you could see at some point getting time.
Is the McMillan move to offense, is that permanent?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We did that last week.
Is the running game playbook going to expand little by little too?
Yeah, it will. We got to keep growing those guys. I mean, Joe has I think a real nice, a great philosophy on how to develop those guys. So we've got to get those guys, as many looks. There's so many things happen in their world that can disrupt, blocking patterns and its experience. And probably the biggest variable is the communication aspect. We've got a center that's played now. We'll get his second start and really extended game time, which in the world of a life of a center is very little. He's in his infancy. But that's where the communication starts. So we just have to keep growing those guys.
No, it's hard to put a definite number on it. But when you compare to what you're running at the end of Teddy at Louisville.
Oh, God, isn't it close?
What's the percentage?
Oh, geez, man, I don't want to guess.
Less than half?
It's less than half. Yeah, we're not even close. Not even close.
But it is fair to say that, because all the talk during Alex was how y'all wanted to be just a power running team. With the tackles out and Dom out. Is it back to square one?
Well, it's back to let's I mean, we're starting the center, the centerpiece, getting him up to speed, and then the thing that I think gets overlooked is the combinations. You've got to work a group of five. They've got to know each other. It's like it's like a basketball team. They've got to know one another, know how the pieces all fit. The calls get transferred down the line and what it triggers to the next group. So there's a lot of coordination that goes on, and that's a lot of experience things that have to take place.
Charlie was saying that you could do maybe more zone blocking schemes. Is that being implemented this week? Is that something?
We always do that. That's all we did last week.
Okay.
That's about it.
Shawn, do you have DeJay back this week?
No.
Are you operating the assumption that Shipley's questionable or out?
Well, he's day to day, so we'll know about him. He's got to go through the protocol, but he's day to day. Our medical staff every day keeps us up to speed with what's going on.
Has DeJay been practicing with the offense?
He's been with us. We always keep the guys that are the younger players, and then we keep guys like himself who are serving some time. They go down and give the scout look, but we keep them up in a 7-on-7. We have a competitive 7-on-7. We always do against our defense, so we keep them up to speed, and the younger guys develop them in that 7-on.
How challenging is it to develop chemistry on offense when you got the quarterback,
Yeah.
shifted that receiver, O-line?
Yeah, it's especially when they're young. That's a variable that's big. You grow into it. Everything in football. You hear all the coaches say. Every coach would tell you it's a process, and that process is a getting to know what you're doing, how to do what you're doing, and then those around you. The trust factor has to be built through time, and you have to go to work every day. It's a real simple way to get there. You just go to work every day, work hard.
It's hard to do that on the fly, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hard to do it on the fly, man. It's not easy.
I'm sorry. One of the most interesting things that came out of Saturday was that everybody was, why didn't Tyrone throw it deep?
Yeah.
Right. Can you explain?
Yeah,
to me or
there's
why it's
in
hard
every route pattern we have, there's a deep ball. The defense has to give it. The defense we played this past week was a defense that was a bend don't break style of defense. I mean, they kept a pretty tight umbrella on everything, and they have their defense. If you look at their history, they don't give up a lot of big plays. I'm talking about explosive down the field throws, because of the style of coverage that they play.
Right.
So they more or less make you work it. I mean, we've called, there's just simple 4 verti stuff that several times, and because of the style of coverage you play, they gave us outside lane throws, and because they had a top coverage, so the ball's getting thrown in those outside lanes and getting those stop route, comeback routes.
Sure.
Hit a few of those, and had they played a different style of coverage, now you got 2 up on the back half, and you're going 4 verties. So you take what the defense gives. That's what good passing attacks do. There's in that style of coverage, you always try to get a deep ball. Where, for example, they were a quarters team where you can confuse and run past conflict to the safety and take a shot on them, and then that always ties into protection. So now you know where I'm going.
Shawn, I think Ty was 6 of 6 on play action. Is it, you see stuff in practice, but it's interesting when you get in a game setting, what he's comfortable with and kind of where you can help him going forward.
Yeah, he's Ty. He got in a real nice rhythm, and that was the purpose. That I've been around getting guys started, and you got to get them confidence and get them throws, and get them in a rhythm, get them hot, and then they start seeing it. And when they start seeing, the looks defensively, that's when they can take off. So, our whole purpose is to try to create a rhythm for him several different ways, not just in one facet, that he's got completions, and then take him from there.
How's Gerard progressing?
Gerard's doing okay. I mean, he's still learning how to prepare. I think that's one of the big things that always, is a hurdle for a younger player. They think they know, but they really don't know. Now, the really good thing that's happened in that room is that he's being able to benefit from seeing what Ty just went through, because now he's in my hip pocket. I think I said to you guys last week, the most important guy in your program is your backup quarterback. Well, he's taking that role. So, he and I spend a lot of time on the field together when Ty is repping, and he's getting the mental rep. And I make him articulate the play. Okay, what's the coverage? What's your read? What are you doing? And tell me if Ty did it right or wrong. And when he plays in 7-on-7, I'm always making him tell me what the coverage is he just faced and why he made the decision that he did, because I want to make sure he's seeing it. So those are just ways that you begin to develop him and get him up to speed, because there's a difference between running plays and executing plays. If you're running plays, you're just hoping. When you're executing plays, there's purpose in your work. And that's, part of the development. You're always, it's a process with those guys. So he's really where an incoming freshman probably should be. Probably a little bit ahead of a lot of guys, because he's getting quality reps in practice. So that's a good side for him.
What is UCLA doing that you think you might be able to take advantage of, or that you got to look out for defensively?
Well, they do a lot of things. They've got a really good defense. Their defensive line is very good. They have style of defense. They're going to, they play man coverage. They'll get into that quite a bit. Even in their zone coverages, they'll play man principles, and that'll create some matchups that we can take advantage of. So, we'll do some things that will use some of our people that we want to get their, create touches for them.
Shawn, have you noticed anybody just, out of the ordinary become vocal leaders at all? I know there's probably a lot of frustration Saturday night.
Yeah. Cedric Flowers has done a great job of leading our offense. He's picked up where, Dom was the voice of our unit. He's picked it up. Sed did a great job rallying, those guys and keeping that. He's working with a, inexperienced crew. So he's really done a nice job of, settling them, kind of calming their minds, stilling their hearts a little bit because they're a little nervous, obviously. But he's done a nice job of leading our team, our unit, and he's one of the team leaders too. Tyrone has really upped his ante. I think he's felt, he feels like he's the quarterback, and that's really a really cool thing to see. Especially like today's practice, he was awesome, as a quarterback should be.
Is it just talking about what you guys plan on doing with what you have to you? It's going to be kind of more the same play actions, rollouts, short passes.
I can't tell you, man.
I'm
afraid if I told you. You'd be giving up to the enemy there.
I know UCLA probably doesn't have much of an imagination. I wouldn't think. But,
it
isn't like y'all can just become the greatest show on turf.
Well, you got to grow there. You're right. You got to grow there. We've got. We were talking the other day. We had, we're playing with 8, 9 offensive linemen. And that group is an experienced group. So everything starts with what you do up front, and with your quarterback. And of course, he's a young guy. So we're moving along. We're adding things that enhance what our perimeter people can help us with. We got to get them involved, get our backs involved in different ways.
Shawn, with the suspended players, whenever they are available again, how do you handle that? In other words, do you throw them back in the mix, or do they have to kind of?
Charlie, when we get to that point, Charlie will, we'll figure it out together. With the staff. It's just not me and him, but our whole staff will. That's what we'll do.